Hello, hello. Good afternoon. It's not even evening yet. I thought it might be a little bit lighter at this time, but no. The dark nights are truly drawing in. I've got a lamp and a candle on, and clearly that's not quite enough, but here we go. It's kind of nice. Set the healing mood. As long as you can hear me, that's the main thing. So, we are on day 2 of our gorgeous 5 days of healing with the elements. And today we are going to be connecting to air. Now, I mentioned yesterday about knowing your elements in your chart and your signs. So, I have double air in my chart, which can very much mean I am sometimes a little bit away in daydream land, but I also have earth in my chart, so that brings me back down, which is great. But also, having a lot of air in your chart does mean that you are typically very attuned to manifesting. So, no surprise, that's where my zone of genius is because I am so connected to air. So, air is very much dealing with our higher chakras, our higher energy system. Whereas yesterday we were talking about earth, which is very much the lower part of our physical body into our roots. So, air is the opposite. It's quite nice to do these consecutively. And air really is opening up these channels. So we spoke a little bit about the manifestation channel yesterday. You don't need to know too much about that in detail, but just know that whenever you're attracting anything into your life, it's coming through these higher chakras, and working with air can help you bring those manifestations in. It can help you be increasingly magnetic. It can help you open up the channel so that things can come through a little bit easier with fewer obstacles, fewer challenges that may inhibit your manifestations from coming through. So I often talk about this as being like we can often have an umbrella up. So our manifestations are trying to like literally rain through, and we have up this umbrella and we're preventing it. So through working with the element of air, we can assist that channel and open it up a little bit more so that we're able to receive, which is absolutely gorgeous. And as well as that, obviously, you might naturally associate air with communication and intellect and using our brain. Okay. So when we're feeling a little bit foggy, it's when our air is out of balance. Okay. When you're struggling for that clarity and you don't really know which way to go, you don't really perhaps even know what you want or what you want to be doing, they are real signals that you want to start to bring in more air. But if on the flip side of that, you're feeling very out of body, you're feeling very up in the dream world, very much connecting more with the cosmos and not really doing much on the earthly plane, you feel a bit out of it, then I would say you don't really need any extra air. You want to work with those polar elements, you want to work with earth and bring yourself back down a little bit. But air can also help us with bringing in quite rapid results. I would say not as quick as working with fire, but air does still bring in very rapid changes, rapid results, because it can alter your frequency very, very quickly, which is exactly what we're going to be doing on the day retreat. For those of you that want to join on the 9th of November, we're going to be connecting to these upper channels and opening you up to receive so you can have those more rapid results. And there's gorgeous ways that you can do that. We're going to be doing some inner child work on that retreat to really connect into creativity and creation and working with the divine, which is scrumptious. So for today, what I would encourage you to have a little think about before we do a little exercise, we're going to do some breath work today, which you may be familiar with. Really, really simple breath work I'm going to share with you. I'd like you to have a little ponder. Where are your manifestation challenges right now? Where are you perhaps finding it a little bit challenging to receive and let things flow through? And also, where are you mentally stuck? Where's your head at? Where is your head mentally stuck? So by all means, reply to this as and when you catch the replay. Like I said yesterday, you will see this at the perfect divine moment that you're supposed to see this, if you're supposed to see this one. So let me know whenever you're watching this. Where are your manifestation challenges at the moment? And where do you feel mentally stuck? The other way that air can really help us is similar to working with the spirit elements or the elements of ether and space, is with divination. So obviously we're coming up to Samhain, we're coming up to what you'll probably know as Halloween, we're coming up to spooky season, and you may be dabbling in these practices at the moment. If you want guidance on these, by the way, you can come into my Halloween circle on Thursday night, where we're going to be doing this in a safe space. But if you are familiar with divination already, then that is another gorgeous way that you can connect with the air element. Okay. You might already find that air gives you some messages because it's through that channel again. So if you are somebody who sees a lot of feathers, for example, or you notice birds or butterflies as your messengers, they're connected to the air element as well. Okay, so they can be your signs and synchronicities that are coming through and just showing you that your channel is open and just inviting you to allow yourself to receive when you are spotting those signs and synchronicities. You might also be somebody who really feels that, yes, getting outside, like we spoke about yesterday, is gorgeous for all of us, no matter what element you're connecting to, but you might be particularly drawn to higher ground. So mountains, going on a hike up a hill, okay? That is your invitation again to connect with the air elements, and really lovely ways that you can do that. Okay, so I'm going to talk you through a gorgeous breathwork exercise. This is a really lovely exercise whenever you need a break, whenever you need to take a pause or need a bit of clarity and you just want to take a moment to find that, or when you perhaps need to assert a boundary. So the boundary process that I talk through with a lot of my clients is to first off pause. And that's something that we don't always do. And even when you're responding to something with a yes or no answer, you might have a default to always say yes. So working with air and working with breath work and taking that pause can help you actually feel in to your body, rather than just being in your head and going, yep, I need to say yes to this because it's my job, or I need to say yes to this because this is my friend, or whatever it is. You can actually take that moment to breathe, pause, and feel into it before you respond. It's a really good practice for all of us. So obviously you don't have to do a breathwork practice in that moment of pause, but this practice I'm going to share with you is so straightforward. You can do it anytime, anywhere. Okay, as long as you're safe, not driving a vehicle or anything like that. Okay, so you may have heard of this before if you are familiar with breathwork, or if you do practices like yoga or anything like that. I'm actually off to boxing this evening, so very different to yoga, but I think this breathwork will still be beneficial because it'll help prepare my heart for the intense cardio that we're about to go through. So make sure you're nice and comfortable again. I'm not going to play any music for this one, but if you want to play some music while you listen to this, if that helps you get into the rhythm of your breath, that's absolutely fine. But I would encourage you to make sure you can fully connect to your breath. So whether you need to listen or just whether you can feel it, that's all good. So nice and relaxed. And we're only going to do this for a couple of moments, but once you've got the rhythm and the pattern, you can do this for as long as you like or whenever you like. Okay, so it's called box breathing. And it's probably one of the simplest, most straightforward methods of breath work, and it doesn't really interact with anything, because there's some breathwork practices that I do that you have to check whether somebody's on certain medication or whether they're menstruating at that time or other things are going on. Some breathwork practices you need to just be a little bit careful with because they are quite intense, whereas box breathing is something that is just naturally bringing calm to your body, okay, and connecting to your nervous system, bringing you out of fight or flight, bringing you back into the moment. So anybody can utilize this, okay? So long as you're capable of taking 4 breaths, you can do this one, okay? So nice and comfortable, nice and relaxed. If it feels good, I always like to have my hands on my heart when I'm doing breath work, just a bit of a default, but wherever you want to place your hands, wherever you feel called to, then do feel free. And just let your attention come to your natural breath. So whatever that is in this moment, if you've been running around, you might be breathing quite deeply. If you've had a hectic day. So just take a few breaths here just to come back to yourself and honouring yourself in this space and in this moment. Giving yourself some gratitude and some love for showing up for you, even for just this short session. Doing something for you, learning something new maybe as well. And when you're ready, when you feel like your breath is at a resting state and calm, we're going to be breathing in 4 steps. So I will talk you through this first before we commence. So just allow your breathing to stay in its regular natural pattern. And what we will be doing is we will be first off breathing in for 4 counts. Now with breath work and with us working with air and our upper chakras, I would encourage you to do this through your mouth if you can, just to open up the throat a little bit. So you will breathe in for 4 counts. You will then suspend the breath for 4 counts. So I don't want to say you're going to hold your breath because that feels quite restrictive. You're just going to let it hover. You're not going to be inhaling, you're not going to be exhaling, but you're also not restricting your breath. You're just holding, okay? Just suspending for a count of 4. And then you will exhale again through your mouth for a count of 4. And then again, just suspend that out breath. Wherever you finish after your exhale of 4, suspending the breath again for a further count of 4. So it creates a box, okay? If that feels too challenging for you, if perhaps you've got a bit of a cold at the moment or you're feeling a little bit chesty, please do feel free to change the counts. And also if you're familiar with this and you want to increase the counts and you want to do it for a count of 7 or a count of 8, then do what feels good for you and what you're used to. Okay, but I always find that 3 to 4 is a kind of nice magic number for me. Okay, so when you're ready, I'm going to count you through. So we're going to breathe in through the mouth for 1, 2, 3, 4, and just suspend for 2, 3, 4, and exhale through the mouth. 1, 2, 3, 4, and again, just suspend that breath. 1, 2, 3, 4. And if you need to take a pause now, you can do. Now you've done 1 round, and just check in with how you feel. Does it feel too quick and like you want to breathe deeper? Is your body asking you for more air right now? In which case you can increase the counts. Or does that feel a little bit too much and you want to lower the count? You can do this nicely with a count of 2 as well. And literally go 2, hold, 2, exhale, 2, suspend, 2. And that can be quite a nice way to bring you back into a rhythm. So we're going to go again. I'm going to stick with the counts of 4, but change them as you see fit for you. And we'll go through just a couple of rounds to see how this feels. So getting ready, preparing to inhale, and let's go. So inhaling for 1, 2, 3, 4, suspend for 1, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, and suspend, 2, 3, 4, inhale, 2, 3, 4, suspend, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, suspend, 2, 3, 4. Again, one more time, breathing in, 2, 3, 4, suspend, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, and suspend, 2, 3, 4. Just allow your breathing to come back to your normal rhythm, and just notice how you feel, and let me know in the comments whenever you do watch this. Let me know how that feels for you. Do you feel calmer? Do you feel more energized? Do you feel clearer? Do you feel lighter? Do you feel inspiration? Have you had ideas? What does it feel like for you? And please do feel free to adapt this practice, like I've said. So if you want to change the pace, whatever feels good for you. But perhaps the next time you do this, and do this in your own time, enjoy it to some music if you wish. I just find sometimes music distracts me a little bit from the counting. And then I realize that I've been inhaling for like 20 seconds. So do you, whatever feels right. But come back to those questions. Come back to what is the challenge that I'm facing with my manifesting, and just see what comes through as a potential solution for you. Or where are you mentally stuck? What would help you in this moment? See if you can ask some questions before your practice, and just see if you're opening these channels, if you can allow some message to come through. Okay. If anything does come through for you, feel free to share, by the way. I would love to know if this does connect you to those higher realms as well. Some people really love, whenever they're doing practices with air, to have things like incense, because that is a connection to the air element as well. I would just be very cautious of that when you're doing breath work, because you could inhale a lot of the smoke. So just be mindful of that. Perhaps have it at a distance from you. But obviously a candle, I've got a candle here right now. All good. It's not letting off too many fumes, so that's okay. But yeah, see what you feel like, see what helps you. But this is really, really beautiful for taking that pause, taking that moment, just coming back into your body, but also clearing your head, because it clears the chatter that we often have. So again, there are things that we're going to be doing in the retreat on the 9th of November, which I would love to have you there, because it's going to be my last one. So I'm seeing it as like my closing circle, which is gorgeous. So I can't wait to hold space for as many of you as I can hold in there. I would love to have you. So do let me know if you would like to join us on the 9th. Of course, we're going to be connecting to every single element throughout the day. You will have breaks as well. I know the thought of being on a Zoom call for a day might be slightly traumatic for a lot of people, especially those of us that had Zooms all the way through the pandemic. But we will have breaks, and it will be delicious, and you will be doing different practices and different activities, so you're not literally just staring at a camera. Okay, you'll be connecting with every single element. Like we said yesterday, with earth, you're going to be enjoying some swamping, you're going to be working with the Earthcraft Oracle, connecting with your body. And then for air, we're going to be doing some inner child work. We're going to be creating, and we're going to be clearing that mind. Okay, so opening you up to receiving, clearing through those channels. Really, really important. Now, tomorrow, we're going to go for spirit tomorrow, because we are approaching Samhain, we're approaching Halloween. So I was going to do this on Thursday, because Thursday was the obvious choice for working with the element of spirit, because it's going to be the most active on that day. But because there is also the Samhain circle on Thursday night, we're going to be doing a lot of work with spirit and the element of spirit in that circle. So for those of you that are in here, and those of you that are also wanting to join that circle, I didn't want to double up on the spirit things. So tomorrow we will go for spirit, and then Thursday we will work with fire. Okay, my loves. So I hope you enjoy this. Do let me know how you get on. Let me know how you're feeling. And if you have any questions about the retreat, any questions about the Samhain, the healing circle on Thursday for spiritual practices and connecting with your ancestors, do let me know. Please don't hesitate to ask me while we are in this gorgeous space together. You won't be the only one with that question, so you will help someone else out as well. And I will look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Mwah! Much love.